Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. In front of the desk of Yuseong Mountain of the virtual universe, Luo Feng read the information of Beast God Blood and frowned. I can get a drop of Beast God Blood from 100 blood river crystals, but the process is complicated. I have to apply for it through the virtual universe company. A single drop of Beast God Blood merging with the body was equal to 1 blood river crystal merging with the body. That was why Beast God Blood was so highly sought after. The typical limit was 100 blood river crystals. For Beast God Blood, it required 100 drops, which cost 10,000 blood river crystals. This was the price one had to pay to lower the effect of the evil energy and to reduce the pain. After all, a human body that could merge with 10 blood river crystals might only be born once in many countless eras. I wonder how much Beast God Blood I can apply for, Luo Feng thought. These precious resources are strictly managed. Lots of emperors have to wait for an auction to bid on it. At the same time, Luo Feng was filled with his application. After a short while, a fox-like girl with downy ears and soft purple hair appeared on the screen. She was likely a fox human of the human race. "Greetings, Mr. Luo Feng," she said. "I need Beast God Blood," Luo Feng said bluntly. The fox girl paused to check something. "According to the quota," she said, "you can have 50 drops of Beast God Blood for free." She flashed a lovely smile, but deep in her heart, she was shocked. Universe Knights and Universe Masters weren't qualified for free resources. On the contrary, they needed to trade for them through their contributions to the race. As for some emperors who deserved cultivation, they might receive some highly limited resources, perhaps 10 blood river crystals, but they couldn't have a single drop of Beast God Blood. Her job was to receive the seniors of the race, and she had never seen anyone qualified for 50 drops of Beast God Blood for free. No wonder he's a peerless genius, thought the fox girl. Everyone says he's Blade River Emperor, and if that's the case, it's not surprising. "Give me 30, Luo Feng said. "Certainly," said the fox girl. "Where shall it be delivered?" "This is the address." Luo Feng typed his detailed address in the Primal Secret region. His residence was within Primal Chaos City Leader's territory, at the core of the center of the Primal Secret region. In the Primal Secret region. The fox girl smiled. "The 30 drops of blood will be delivered today." "Okay." Luo Feng nodded. He turned off the telecommunications. "For free, eh?" He smiled. "It seems my race has a quota of free resources for me. But until I apply for them, they won't be given to me. 50 drops of Beast God Blood. I've heard it's difficult to get that much even at an auction. However, my original Earthling body is able to merge with 82 blood river crystals, and all I need are 18 drops of Beast God Blood. As for the Golden Horned Beast, he needs more than 600 blood river crystals, and Beast God Blood can't do it all. His Golden Horned Beast body's life gene level was already strengthened 6,000 times. When he became undying someday, and owned an enormous amount of superior undying power, he would breed a powerful consciousness. That could help his will to some extent, just as a strong-bodied person had a staunch will, whereas a feeble person had a wavering will. The strength of a soul served a supporting function. Universe Masters, who had extensive godly power, and had their souls integrated with the universe, had stronger wills than Luo Feng. Although they were relatively lucky, their godly power was the main reason for the powerful wills. It was impossible for an ordinary being to have a will that could rival a Universe Master. The life gene level is already strengthened 6,000 times, thought Luo Feng. After that, the amplification will improve only slightly each time. There's no need to rush it. After only 3 hours, a servant delivered a space ring to the palace where Luo Feng lived. His Beast God Blood was in the ring. "Go," Luo Feng said. "Yes," the undying servant answered respectfully. In the territory of Primal Chaos City Leader, even the delivery men were undying, and they needed to compete for those positions, as those without skills wouldn't be admitted. After all, Here they could see the great Primal Chaos City Leader from time to time. Usually, the disciples of Primal Chaos City Leader lived here. Luo Feng went back to his internal world. He took a silver suitcase out of the space ring and opened it to find 30 transparent tubes inside. There was a drop of shiny golden light in each tube, emanating considerable energy. Luo Feng could practically hear the roaring of the beast god. Beast god blood. Luo Feng took out a tube, unplugged it and poured it on his left palm. It looked like pure, golden light, but he could see, within the light, that it was actually a golden liquid. Countless lore engravings flowing within it. The golden light dropped into his palm and penetrated the skin. Luo Feng's body started to glimmer with golden light. The blood river energies in Luo Feng's cells were already sturdy, and the drop of beast god blood merged with them easily without causing any reaction. Black warriors can please Primal Chaos City Leader Teacher, said Luo Feng. He says merging with beast god blood is an easy task. Now that I can merge with 82 blood river crystals, I'm already way ahead of the limit of a black warrior. Luo Feng smiled. Absorbing the beast god blood is like drinking water to me. He took out another tube, opened it, and poured out the beast god blood. One drop after another, the beast god blood merged with Luo Feng's body. After a short while, all 18 drops had successfully integrated with Luo Feng, which was an easier task than he had previously perceived it to be. When Luo Feng tried the 19th drop of beast god blood, it only rolled on his palm and lay there without seeping in. That seems to be the limit, Luo Feng said, nodding. I've already hit the limit of blood river energies. His eyes gleamed. Now, drive the blood river energies. An ancient force shot out from Luo Feng's body. It suddenly felt as if energy from the origin of the entire universe was emanating from deep inside him. His body was heightened and strengthened, and indistinct scales formed on every inch of his skin. Countless threads wound across his body, and a giant image of a roaring beast god appeared on his chest. So detailed and realistic that it looked like an actual, bellowing beast god in all its exquisite detail. Golden halos pulsated outward, surrounding his body. Luo Feng looked down at his chest. He had already taken off his armor, as he wanted to feel the power touching his body. How mighty this energy is! Huh! Luo Feng was stunned. Wait! Something's wrong. Only 3,000 times. How is that possible? Luo Feng was perplexed. Theoretically, once 100 blood river crystals were merged with the body would be 100 times stronger. Golden horned beast's right claw had been strengthened 100 times at the beginning, and it stopped growing after hitting the 10,000 times limit. Luo Feng frowned. I was originally 48 times stronger, but now that I've surpassed being strengthened 3,000 times, I'm only around 60 times stronger than before. The effect was weakened. The blood river energies that worked perfectly on the golden horned beast were far less effective on the original earthling body. Luo Feng considered the implications. Beast god blood might be useless for the special life forms in the universe. Like a unique life form of water category, whose life gene level is already thousands of times stronger, the beast god blood won't help that much. Beast god blood comes from an inborn beast god of gold and space. Is it possible that the beast god blood worked well in the beginning, but its effect will be weakened as time goes by? He decided to let the matter drop. Regardless of the reason, it was now proven that the original earthling body reached a life gene level that was 3,000 times stronger after merging with the beast god blood, together with its 48 times stronger base. I'll just wait. My life gene level can be improved when I get another metal from the 9-volume manual. Luo Feng smiled and nodded. Although it hadn't been the best possible outcome, he was still exhilarated that his life gene level had been improved 3,000 times. That put it at the level of some top-tier special life forms in the universe. Fortunately, I have the 9-volume manual, Luo Feng thought. Otherwise, I'd be like other life forms of the other races in the universe, who can only improve their life gene level to 100 times. The 9-volume manual. It was his secret weapon. With it, Luo Feng could rival top-tier special life forms. Other things like blood river crystals were just icing on the cake. Time passed. Since the original Earthling body and Golden Horned Beast body had merged with blood river crystals, Luo Feng continued to train in seclusion. He didn't do anything but spend time with his family. After another century, his third body was about to be born. In the internal world, Golden Horned Beast's claws gripped the plane like pillars. He looked up at the sky. Mosha body stood on Golden Horned Beast's back, gazing at the sky as well. There was a colossal, oval-shaped, golden egg floating in the sky. The golden egg had been small when it first came into being, but it had grown larger and larger as time went by, and it was now more than 6,000 miles tall. Soon, said Luo Feng. It'll soon be born. Luo Feng pondered the result. Will it be a whole sea? The life form in the oval golden egg would remain a mystery until it revealed itself. Around 8 hours later. Crack! Dozens of hairline fractures appeared on the colossal, golden egg. Luo Feng and his 3 other bodies held their breath as they watched. All at once, the eggshell was completely crushed. In its place was a giant man in the sky, standing almost 6,000 miles tall. Its naked body cast a perfect, almost exotic figure, with sparkling skin and crystal-clear jades across its skin, and bloody threads flowing inside it. Luo Feng's original Earthling body and his other bodies were all dazed by such a pleasant surprise. My third body, said Luo Feng, is flesh and blood. Only the flesh and the blood type of living creature could practice the 9-volume manual. Luo Feng's Mosha body was an energy-type living creature, and thus, his power was significantly weaker than his original Earthling body and Golden Horned Beast body, even after being injected with the essence from an original real treasure like the Space Heart. Mosha body never surpassed the limit of increasing 100 times. It was destined for Mosha body to be far weaker when it came to strength. He was mainly useful for fleeing, hiding, and disguise. When it came to fighting, Luo Feng had to depend on his original body and the Golden Horned Beast body. As for a body like 9 Remoteness Ocean, Luo Feng had chosen it because of the boundless ocean of godly power. Ha ha ha. Luo Feng's laughter swept across the internal world like a shockwave. Well, this is a happy surprise. The third body can practice the 9-volume manual, which means he has unlimited potential. Perhaps he can someday be 9 Remoteness Masters match. I'll call my third body Remote Ocean Body. It was official. Luo Feng's original body and 3 additional bodies had been determined. He had his original Earthling body, his Golden Horned Beast body, his Mosha body, and his Remote Ocean body. Luo Feng was filled with boundless pride. With his original Earthling body and these 3 bodies, nothing would stop him from becoming one of the great beings in the universe. The seed has been planted, he said. It'll be up to my efforts to decide whether I remain a weak sapling or grow into the sturdiest tree. I need to study into my Remote Ocean body first. Remote Ocean body looked exquisite, a giant body standing nearly 6,000 miles tall. Presently, he sat on the plane with his legs crossed like a giant sculpture. My strength is 300 times of that of a sector lord, Remote Ocean body said in a deep voice. My Remote Ocean body's life gene level is 300 times, while the sector lord level world tree is around 1,000 times. That explains why I was able to successfully breed this Remote Ocean body, but not the world tree body. But it seems too large for a living being of 300 times life gene level. Generally speaking, the higher the life gene level, the larger the size. Of course, special organisms of the plant race and rock race had terrifically large bodies even if they had life gene levels that were hundreds of times. After all, even ordinary life forms like cloud contact vines were already over 1 million miles tall. Life forms of the plant race had a natural size advantage. Remote Ocean body is a flesh and blood type living being. How can he be so large? Upon careful examination, Luo Feng realized Remote Ocean body had raw energy flowing through his bones, muscles, vessels, and blood, and there was information hidden in the energy. Luo Feng studied the information with his mind. So that's the case. Remote Ocean Body whispered. Even Primal Chaos City Leader doesn't know what talent techniques 9 Remoteness Master has. He must have talent techniques, given that my remote ocean body has 2 talent techniques. The information contained within the colossal body shed light on some of the mysteries of 9 Remoteness World. Remote Ocean Body had 2 talent techniques. The first one was Transformed Ocean and the second was Creation. Transformed Ocean allowed Remote Ocean Body to instantly turn into an ocean with a diameter of around 60,000 miles, and the time and space within it would be controlled by the ocean. The stronger Remote Ocean Body got, the more control the body had over time and space. While he was still relatively weak, he could only affect time and space to a small extent, but when he became sufficiently strong, he would be like 9 Remoteness Master, whose grip on his 9 Remoteness Ocean had reached its limit. It was so powerful that no other universe masters even dared to enter 9 Remoteness space. The second talent technique was Creation. When the body became an ocean, its flesh and blood were all transformed into a bloody sea, after which his Creation talent could extract energies from the ocean and reorganize the life genes to create new life forms. He could even create a new race, if he was proficient with the talent, and the new lives would always submit to the master who had created them. Such powerful talent techniques. Remote Ocean Body said in a deep voice. No wonder the body is so enormous. He wouldn't be able to turn into an ocean with a smaller body. Once he turns into an ocean, he can, in a way, control time and space around the ocean, which makes him significantly stronger. This kind of incredible attacking skill was a bit like the manipulation of time and space talent used by world trees. As for Creation, it might be considered a mediocre skill, but this is likely how the indigenous race in 9 Remoteness World was created. Energy life forms are the easiest to create, as long as there are life cores. Luo Feng nodded. Although it's a mediocre talent at present, it could be used to create an entire race completely obedient to me. Ha ha. Remote Ocean Body's voice echoed through the internal world. I've obtained everything I wanted, and even some things I didn't expect. This Remote Ocean Body can affect the space and time around him, and he has a talent technique in space and time. Plus, it's a flesh and blood type of living being. Still, muttered Luo Feng. Why is the size of the bloody sea so bizarre? His talent technique says he can turn into an ocean with a diameter of around 60,000 miles, but that is much smaller than those of the princes and 9 Remoteness Master. Remote Ocean Body frowned and considered the implications of its size. Sector Lord Princes had bloody seas with diameters of around 50 million miles. Undying Princes had royal seas with diameters of around 600 million miles. Universe Night Princes had royal seas with diameters from 20 billion to 60 billion miles. Although Remote Ocean Body possessed the transformed ocean talent, he could only turn into a sea with a diameter of around 60,000 miles, which was minuscule even by the standards of Sector Lord Princes. Transformed Ocean. Remote Ocean performed his talent technique. His flesh and bones suddenly melted, changing into a surging bloody sea in Luo Feng's internal world. Luo Feng could feel his control on the bloody sea, but it was feeble, it was only at the Sector Lord level. However, he could sense time and space distinctly. Apparently, he had incredible talent in time and space. Larger, said Luo Feng. Larger. Grow larger. Luo Feng controlled the bloody sea with his mind, but no matter how hard he tried, the diameter remained at 60,000 miles, which couldn't even match that of a Sector Lord Prince. The bloody sea churned in the sky while Mosha Body and Golden Hornet Beast stood on the plains, contemplating what they were seeing. Luo Feng was perplexed. Why? Why is the volume of my transformed ocean so much smaller than that of the 9 Remoteness Master and the 108 Princes? The bloody sea only had a diameter of only 60,000 miles. However, lots of unique life forms in the universe were 60,000 miles tall or long. As for creatures of the plant race and rock race, plenty of them were larger than that. After he thought about it for a while, a thought occurred to Luo Feng. Something's wrong, he said. 9 Remoteness Master and the 108 Princes. They seem to be different from me somehow, My transformed ocean technique can transform my body into a bloody sea instantly, but it can also change it back to the original body, too. However, said Luo Feng, those 108 royal seas and the 9 remoteness ocean haven't changed or even moved for hundreds of millions of years. 9 remoteness ocean had a diameter of over 10 light years. For an eternity, the 9 remoteness ocean had remained in the ancestral god's secret region, and the seas of the 108 princes had remained at the center of 9 remoteness world. Primal Chaos City Leader Teacher said that 9 remoteness master will sometimes go out and fight, said Luo Feng. And if he dies, the 9 remoteness ocean will breed another 9 remoteness master. But how is that possible? Transformed ocean and the original body can't exist at the same time. If the original body were killed, he would fall forever. If the body can be born again, that can only mean that it's not the original body that was killed. Luo Feng stroked his chin in deep thought. There's only one way 9 remoteness master can do this. He must have transformed his body into the ocean, then created an energy body using his creation talent. The energy body can then be condensed again, even after being destroyed. 9 remoteness ocean has never moved, Luo Feng realized. And perhaps it's not because he doesn't want to move. Perhaps he can't move at all. And that means he never actually leaves 9 remoteness space. As vast as the 9 remoteness ocean is, it can never move. Luo Feng quickly extrapolated from what he observed. Gradually, he saw the complete story. 9 remoteness master and his princes used some special methods to enlarge their oceans, thought Luo Feng. The trade-off is that they can't move the oceans freely anymore. Even though they can't move the oceans, the volume gives them nearly boundless godly power, and thus, they become immortal. Special organisms of the plant race and rock race also found it difficult to move. The larger the bodies were, the more difficult it was for them to move. For an enormous being like 9 remoteness ocean, it was unsurprising that he was unable to move at will. But how did they enlarge their oceans to such an extent? Luo Feng muttered. The bloody sea with a diameter of around 160,000 miles kept churning in the sky. What did he need to do to turn it into one with a diameter of 50 million miles? They were at completely different levels. A 50 million mile ocean had much greater energy, and generally, even if someone became undying, their size did not change. That meant remote ocean body's height would remain at 6,000 miles, and the transformed ocean would remain 60,000 miles. Yet the oceans of the undying and universe night princes kept expanding. The largest of which was 60 billion miles. How did 9 remoteness master and his prince accomplish that? The bloody sea churned above the extensive plains as Luo Feng attempted to enlarge its size, but all methods thus far had failed. After 3 days of trying, Luo Feng finally admitted defeat. Remote ocean body can't absorb energies, because there's no room for further storage. The bloody sea has already hit its limit, and it can't be expanded even an inch larger. 9 remoteness master, how did you enlarge the remoteness ocean? Luo Feng, clothed in black, gazed at the turbulent bloody sea and murmured to himself, why don't you just ask 9 remoteness master? This was obviously a secret. When 9 remoteness master first came into being, he clearly didn't have such an enormous 9 remoteness ocean. He must have figured out some special means so that even his princes could have enormous royal seas. I'll try my second technique, creation, said Luo Feng. The idea that I can create life is a great mystery. Luo Feng's mind merged with the bloody sea. The moment he cast the second technique, he felt like he was entering a new domain. The air and the grass were all dissected beneath his gaze. It was like seeing through to the very nature of these life forms. Luo Feng looked at the weeds on the plain. Creation, he said, and grass came into being. Creation, he said again, and a flower was born in the bloody sea. Create Mosha body, he said. A moment passed, and Luo Feng realized that the Mosha body was too complex to be created instantly. Creating plants doesn't give me any sense of accomplishment, said Luo Feng. I need to create moving lives. I must. After only a few moments, and Luo Feng was already addicted to the process of creation. World energies could change plants and rivers, but creation was something more than that. Creation could replicate the constitution of life by observation. Luo Feng presumed that replicating the constitution of life forms was the most basic skill, but those who were proficient, like Nine Remoteness Master, could create an entire species. Creation was a magical thing. Although the process couldn't improve one's power directly, it would be majestic to create a species. No wonder masters were Shan, who can guide and lead an entire race, Luo Feng thought. But I'm different from him. I can create life forms with my talent technique, whereas Shan, who guided an existing race, and led that race to evolve under some special environments. Luo Feng began to experiment. First, he put some small, weak life forms into his internal world. He quickly realized that the weaker the power was, the simpler the life gene constitution was. For those living beings that were too powerful, it was difficult to even see their constitution distinctly, let alone replicate it. Nine Remoteness Master became an ocean first, then created an energy body, and finally, created a race, Luo Feng realized after experimenting with his new talent technique for half a month. The constitution of complex life forms was impossibly intricate, making it exceedingly difficult to create a brand new race. Nine Remoteness Master must have expended a great degree of effort before learning how to create a mature race. His 108 princes must have been instructed to emulate him, but they had all failed, as they couldn't conquer the obstacles. It required an astounding amount of energy to create even a single life form, not to mention a supreme race whose members had life imprints high enough to think intelligently, train themselves, and become sector lords once they matured. No wonder sector lord princes can't create new lives, thought Luo Feng. The more advanced the life forms are, the more energy it takes to create them. However, it's easiest to create oneself. Each drop of the bloody sea had come from remote ocean body, which was why the bloody sea water contained the life genes of remote ocean body. If he wanted to create another remote ocean body, he didn't need any life constitution, as each drop of the water was comprised of such life constitution. Creation. The bloody sea started to tremble, and a naked body appeared. It quickly disappeared, however, and its energy was absorbed back into the bloody sea. Creation. Another 300-foot-tall body showed up and disappeared. Creation. Another body appeared. This one was only 3 feet in height. It, too, quickly disappeared. Creation. Luo Feng kept trying. After much trial and error, he found out that the largest body he could create was 600 miles tall, which was a smaller version of remote ocean body. Something's wrong, said Luo Feng. Remote ocean body has a life gene level 300 times greater. Why does the newly created remote ocean body only have a life gene level of 30 times? Luo Feng realized the problem. The new remote ocean body was only 600 miles tall, just 1/10 the original height. His life gene level was only 30 times greater, which was also 1/10 of the original version. There are some flaws in creation. He laughed. But maybe this is how it's supposed to be. There was a vast difference between the talent technique creation and the evolution of the universe. Even if he could replicate the body's constitution completely, the duplicate was still inferior, as it didn't have any talent techniques, and had significantly lower life gene level. It would go against the laws of the universe for a bloody sea to be able to create a new remote ocean body as powerful as the original. After some time, he realized that each time he created a new remote ocean body, it consumed nearly 1/10 of his energies, and the volume of the bloody sea shrunk. Each body was being immediately absorbed into the ocean, was because the bloody sea was reabsorbing the energies to recover its size. When the bloody sea is complete, it can't absorb any energies, said Luo Feng, but it can when it suffers some losses. Luo Feng got an idea. Absorb. Absorb. The world energies flooded into the bloody sea. After just a short while, the bloody sea finished and regained its original size. The bloody sea has fully recovered, but the new remote ocean body is still right beside it, said Luo Feng. They draw energies from the same origin. Now, melt. The new remote ocean body fell into the bloody sea and melted into the water. The energies merged with the original sea, and the volume surged. The bloody sea was enlarged, pressing outward against the space around it. The space and time controlled by the bloody sea were also expanded. Ha ha. So, this is how it works, said Luo Feng, overjoyed. Create a new remote ocean body, wait for the bloody sea recover, then melt the new remote ocean body back into water, thus combining it with the original bloody sea. Creation, commanded Luo Feng. Recover. Luo Feng went through the process repeatedly. Each time, the bloody sea could absorb more energy. Melt. Condense. The bloody sea was enlarged again. It expanded 10 times in succession. Turn back, said Luo Feng. But when he tried to turn the ocean back into the original body, it failed. The ocean was bloated with energy. It was like an overweight, middle-aged man, too plump from years of overeating to run and jump as he had in his trimmer years. The bloody sea was simply too large to turn back into its original body. No wonder Nine Remoteness Master can always be revived no matter how many times he dies, said Luo Feng. It's because those that die are actually the bodies created by the ocean. The original body is Nine Remoteness Ocean itself. Now that Luo Feng understood the secret completely, he started to laugh. The hiss echoed across the bloody sea. Dissipate. Dissipate. The sea resolved into world energies and dispersed. Instantly, the world energies that had been added due to his experimentation vanished. Turn back, he commanded. A remote ocean original body standing at a height of almost 6,000 miles showed up again. It was the same original body, with a life gene level of 300 times greater. When Nine Remoteness Master obtained an immortal body, his combat power must have been weakened at the same time, thought Luo Feng. After all, he relies on his created bodies to fight outside. You gain some, you lose some. It would take an eternity for Nine Remoteness Ocean to reach its current size. It must have expanded stably for a long time. It would be impossible for Nine Remoteness Master to dissipate his godly power and turn into a being with a diameter of 6,000 miles. Luo Feng now understood why Nine Remoteness Master was invincible. He was already a universe master, and he continuously stored godly power so as to expand Nine Remoteness Ocean. As a result, Nine Remoteness Ocean now had a diameter of over 10 light-years. It seemed his quantitative changes had led to qualitative changes. The Nine Remoteness Ocean could already rival the most powerful true treasure in the universe, and the only downside was that it was immovable. I've already figured out the secret behind this, said Luo Feng. He was exhilarated. But I don't need to expand the ocean yet. There's one more vital thing. Remote ocean body needs to practice the 9-volume manual. Luo Feng had been looking forward to this. Remote ocean body had a life gene level 300 times greater, and finishing the first 5 volumes of 9-volume manual could improve a being's life gene level 48 times. Once remote ocean body started to practice, he could theoretically hit 14,400 times. However, based on Luo Feng's knowledge, even the special life forms of the universe only had life gene levels of a few thousand times greater. 10,000 times greater, said Luo Feng. That seems to be the limit of the life gene level of special life forms. I'll personally discover the true limit of a life gene level in the universe. Luo Feng felt inspired. If the limit truly was 10,000 times, remote ocean body could hit that limit with 9-volume manual. However, if the limit was more than 10,000 times, remote ocean body would step into a new, previously unknown realm. How could Luo Feng not be excited about the possibilities? Luo Feng looked forward to this, but the overall premise was that remote ocean body first needed to practice the 9-volume manual. Although he is a special life form, he is a flesh and blood type of living being. He must be able to practice it. Luo Feng thought so, anyway. He was, however, a bit afraid of the limitations of the universe law. After all, his original earthling body and his golden horned beast body were both ordinary life forms, yet they both had life gene level thousands of times greater, after practicing 9-volume manual. This time, remote ocean body would target the legendary limit. Begin. Remote Ocean Body sat down on the plane with his legs crossed and started to practice 9-volume manual. This video will end here.